James Gunn has confirmed the retcon to Superman's parents and explained why he chose to desecrate them. His explanation is a bunch of BS, and it's ironic given the fact that Gunn has gone and said throughout this press tour, the promotion for Superman, that he always needs an explanation for everything, even why Superman wears his trunks. And he doesn't really give a good explanation as to why he chose to desecrate his parents. But let's get into this right here. In the film, Jor-El, I wrote this up over at phantompulse.com. You can find the link in the description below. In the film, Jor-El gives a message to his son telling him the people there are simple and profoundly confused, weak of mind, spirit, and body, lord over the planet as the last son of Krypton. His mother, Lara, then adds, dispatch of anyone unable or unwilling to serve you, Kal-El. Take as many wives as you can, so your genes and Krypton's might and legacy will live on in this new frontier. Jor-El then adds, do us proud, our beloved son, rule without mercy. Pop culture commentator and critic Gary Buechler, a.k.a. Nerdrotic, described this moment as worse than Pa Kent getting sucked up into a tornado, as happened in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. I think that was probably the worst scene in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, showing that Superman wouldn't actually go save his father, who was going out and trying to save people, obviously risked his life. Clearly, you can see what he was trying to go for there, but Superman would have gone to save them. And in this case, Jor-El and Lara would not be instructing their son to bring Earth to heel and act as a tyrant and go around turning the women of Earth into a harem. Absolutely not. But Gunn confirmed that the message was not manipulated by Lex Luthor and was indeed accurately translated by the engineer. Many people thought that it could have been Lex lying to the public in order to stoke hate against Superman. Clearly, that is not the case. That headcanon quickly turned out to be not true. But this is what Gunn told IGN about changing the origin of Superman and the characters of Jor-El and Lara. He said, I'm a huge Superman fan, so first of all, I had to trust myself that I was going to honor the pieces of Superman that we needed to keep the same and allow myself to make changes where changes might work and wouldn't go against the integrity of who the character is. While he might be talking about Superman there, it clearly goes against the integrity of Jor-El and Lara. They would not act this way whatsoever. Anyways, Gunn goes on and says, and so I think that was simply dealing with some of those things, was simply dealing with allowing ourselves to change part of the story that was interesting for the DCU, but that wasn't something that went against who Superman was. And has been something that's been played with in the comics before. Well, it might not go against who Superman was, but it goes against who Jor-El and Lara are. They would not have forced their son to have to choose between their vision of tyranny for Earth and obviously Superman following Ma and Pa Kent's example of protecting the people of Earth and always choosing to do what is right. And then as far as Gunn's comment here saying it has been something that's been played with in the comics before, how many times have we seen this narrative over and over and over again? And that's all it is. It is a narrative because we know that they put stuff in the comics so that they can then try to use this narrative to justify the absolute disgusting things that they do in the television and movies. That's what they did with Kamala Khan. That's what they did with Ironheart. That's what they did with all of these social justice warriors that they created over the last 2 decades that they have now been starting to put in the movies and television shows, and they failed in the comics, and they're now failing in the movies and TV shows, but it gives people like James Gunn a narrative that they can weaponize to try to foment against people who are making legitimate criticisms. Oh, well, it was done in the comics. Don't you read comics, bro? Like, how many times have we seen that when it's like, that was a bad idea in the comics, it was a bad idea in the movies and television as well. But as far as the origin here, it's not Superman's origin either, right? He's not sent to conquer. That's Goku from Dragon Ball's origin. Goku is sent to conquer, and then he chooses not to follow that path, whereas Superman is not sent to conquer. He's actually sent to inspire. He's sent to lead the people of Earth. He's sent to show them what hope is and be an example to always choose what is right. And we've seen that in multiple movies. Obviously, that is typically how they are depicted, but instead James Gunn chose to destroy them, chose to ruin them, chose to depict them as maniacal tyrants rather than caring and loving parents who wish their son to choose what is right. We see that love in Superman 2, albeit it is a little misguided. Obviously, Superman is seeking advice from Jor-El on pursuing Lois Lane, and Jor-El advises him against that. And he says, "Is this how you repay their gratitude? By abandoning the weak, the defenseless, the needful for the sake of your selfish pursuits." Now, I think, as I said, I think it's a little misguided. I don't think dedicating yourself to another person is a selfish pursuit. That's kind of the opposite of that, because you're giving yourself to another person fully in the sacrament of matrimony. So that's the opposite of selfish. But anyways, he goes on and tells him this: yours is a higher purpose, the fulfillment of your mission, the inspiration you must have felt. You must have felt that happiness within you, my son. Surely you cannot deny that feeling. And so obviously he's instructing him to do what is right, telling him he has this higher purpose, that he should be leading the people of Earth and inspiring them through his example, right? Not you need to enslave Earth. You need to bring the men to heel, and you need to take as many women as you possibly can and just live this debaucherous life. That is not how they engage. And then we similarly see this also in Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Jor-El informs Superman, "Your mother and I believe Krypton lost something precious, the element of choice, of chance. What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended for him or her? What if a child aspired to something greater? You are the embodiment of that belief, Cal. Krypton's first natural birth in centuries. That's why we risked so much to save you. You're as much a child of Earth now as you are of Krypton. You can embody the best of both worlds. The dream your mother and I dedicated our lives to preserve. The people of Earth are different from us. It's true, but ultimately, I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you guide them, Cal. Not if you give them hope." He then opens up his coat and shows him the Superman symbol and says, "That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief of the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you can bring them." And that is what Jor-El instructs Superman, wants him to be a force of good, wants him to bring hope to Earth, not bring tyranny, not bring destruction, not bring slavery. And the fact that James Gunn chose to do that shows that he is unequipped to lead the DC universe, because he fundamentally does not understand who these characters are, and he is willing to sacrifice them to fit whatever vision he has for them. And I think that is why the DC universe will not succeed. It will crash and burn, because James Gunn is not the right person to lead it. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, and to always, always speak the truth.
Why would you be afraid of the people? Why are you not afraid of God instead of man?